Good morning. Let's open Gemara Megillah Yutet Amud Bet.
Again.
They were talking about how old Esther was. Imagine how old Mordechai was. Or was talking about how old she was.
Let's look at the Mishnah Yutet Amud Bet. הכל כשרים לקרוא את המגילה. If you read the Mishnah the way it's printed, הכל, who does the Mishnah include? If חירש שוטה וקטן out. Who does the Mishnah include? It includes even ladies. We'll talk later about the shita of the Bahag. Because when the Mishnah says likrot to whom? Likrot to be motzi men or likrot for themselves. But this is today's topic we're going to focus on the Machloket Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan bekatan, which katan? Chutz mecharesh shote vekatan. So Rabbanan are clearly saying that the katan, it doesn't say which katan. הגיע לחינוך, לא הגיע לחינוך, במשנה says קטן cannot read. רבי יהודה מכשיר בקטן. Let's look at Tosfot, and we'll see Ramban. And the Tosfot is another place. We are going to focus on Rabbanan now. Why are Rabbanan excluding a child? קשה ואיזה קטן מה יראה? אם לא הגיע לחינוך,
he's already up and out and here.
ברוך השם.
ברוך השם.
קשה באיזה קטן מה יראה? אם לא הגיע לחינוך, מה הייתה עמד רבי יהודה? look at תוספות ורבי יהודה, right here. Yutet Amud Bet.
What is it, hip or a knee?
What?
No, I was asking Jack, was it a hip or a knee?
No, this he put a pacemaker.
Oh, he put a pacemaker.
In Florida or here? Florida. So it was that state. It was the Hurricane.
So באיזה קטן מה יראה? אם לא הגיע לחינוך, מה הייתה עמד רבי יהודה דמכשיר? Listen carefully. והאמרינא בסוף פרק בתרא בראש השנה, remember this rule never changes. כל שאינו מחויב בדבר, אינו מוציא אחרים ידי חובתם. So again, according to Rabbi Yehuda, who allows a child to read the Megillah, and obviously here to read is to read to others, if he is לא הגיע לחינוך 6-7, במשנה, זה כל שאינו מחויב בדבר, אינו מוציא רבים. והיא הגיעה לחינוך, here comes the real question. Okay, let's say it's 11-12. היא הגיעה לחינוך, מה הייתה עמד הרבנן בפסלרי? Why in our Mishnah Rabbanan are saying that a minor cannot read? Listen carefully now. והלא כל האחרים נמי אין חייבים מדרבנן, which means we understand why a kid at 12.5 cannot blow shofar for an adult, because he is obligated mid'Rabbanan, and the adult is chayav min haTorah. But Kriyat HaMegillah is the Rabbanan even for adults. If the kid is 11, 12, why would Rabbanan disagree? They are both equal. They are both chayav only mid'Rabbanan. This is a very famous question of Tosfot. Basically, we'll see two answers. Let's see what the Tosfot are saying.
Why is the katan liable for the Rabbanan? It's not katan.
No, because mitzvat chinuch to do on every mitzvah. So he, the same way that the kid is obligated to say barachot, to go to pray, say Birkat Hamazon, he's chayav b'megillah also midrabanan. So it looks like the adult and the minor are on the same level of obligation.
Is a katan chayav in Kriyat Shema?
The Mishnah says in Daf Chaf in Brachot, the only reason Chachamim exempt him from Shema is because his father cannot really wake him up every morning. Otherwise, he would be. The Mishnah says, there is a Mishnah in Brachot, Ani, in Daf Chaf. So you will give me, prepares me this blue one. Prepares me the Brachot.
I don't know. The father can wake him up or he won't get up.
When I teach it, this is the answer. The answer is the taste. I mean, I told you a million times. The taste of the mitzvah that your son has, my son has, is the way he felt from a young age. If every morning his father wakes him up, he would definitely say it, but he would hate Shema for the rest of his life because in the back of his mind, every morning, this is the depth. Why? Everyone understands. If he has to do it, he has to do it. Somehow when you go in Florida, everyone wakes the kids. The kids are excited because it's Florida.
Yeah.
I'm reading you the Mishnah in Daf Chaf. Nashim ve'avadim uktanim, Lari Daf Chaf Amud Aleph from the bottom. Nashim ve'avadim uktanim pturim mikriyat Shema. So the obvious question is, why shouldn't the parent obligate his son? So I'm reading you now the Rashi. Rashi says, Afilu katan shehigia lechinuch. לא הטילו על אביו לחנכו בקריאת שמע. The rabbis did not commend the father to, why? לפי שאינו, Rashi is very delicate, לפי שאינו מצוי תמיד כשמגיע זמן קריאת שמע. He's not always available. What does it mean he's not available? Where is he? He's outside riding his bike. He's sleeping. Wake him up. חייבים, Joseph, your question, חייבים בתפילה. A father is obligated to train his son to pray ובמזוזה. If the kid has a room on his own, he's obligated to have a mezuzah in the room ובברכת המזון. So this is in general mitzvah chinuch. So let's go back now. The question is, I understand you cannot blow shofar. I understand.
It's not an obligation, Rabbi. It's just chinuch.
No, but
So how can you represent your father to read the Megillah? It's not your obligation.
in a minute we will see.
Wait, why don't you apply the same logic on Birkat Hamazon? If Birkat Hamazon is a Doraisa, why did it not the same?
This Tosfot is approximately 25 lines. We just read 4. So in the next
Okay, sorry, I don't know Tosfot from Adam.
that we just discussed, of course we bring it in. It's a Gemara that a child can say Birkat Hamazon for his father Joseph, yes? It's a Gemara that the father is in Amaretz, Ben Amaretz, Meched Amaretz, he doesn't know how to read. The son can say Birkat Hamazon. Why? Obviously, because the obligation of a child is an obligation. Look further into us. So again, והיא הגיעה לחינוך, מה הייתה עמד הרבנן דפסטי? והלא כל האחרים נמי אין חיובה מלמד הרבנן, ואם כן קשיא, עמי לא אמרינן דעתי דרבנן ומפיק דרבנן. Again, the question is, according to Rabbanan in the Mishnah, why can't a child at the age of 12 read the Megillah if there's no one to read it? His obligation is with the Rabbanan and mitzvah chinuch. The adults are chayav also with the Rabbanan to read the Megillah. It's seemingly they're in the same level.
They're not the same case, Rabbi?
I said now we have only 21 lines. Before we're 22. In a minute. The Kiddush chayavim min Torah. Again, no chayav b'Kiddush min Torah, not with the Rabbanan. The wine is with the Rabbanan. Kiddush is min Torah. It says in Aseret HaDibrot, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat, right? The Kiddush chayav only with the Rabbanan. Shofar you are chayav min Torah. Your son is with the Rabbanan. Perashat Zachor you are chayav min Torah. Katav with the Rabbanan. This is a rare case. The father and the son are the same. And the question is, why can the son be what's in the father? Hachinami Amrina בפרק מי שמתורו. Here's the case, Larry, that you just brought. The Ben mevarech le'aviv. You hear this? When the father doesn't know how to read, the son at 12 says, Baruch Atah Hashem. The father listens, Amen Yatsa. Why? The Ben mevarech le'aviv, Af al pi shu katan. ויוצא בברכתו. How can the son be מוציא the father? The father is חייב ברכת המזון מן התורה, ומוכר להטעם בגמרא עם ברכות דף כ, כגון שאכל האב כזית. If the father ate only a slice of bread, so the father is חייב בברכת המזון only מדרבנן. So here's the גמרא מפורשת. His father ate a slice, is חייב מדרבנן. The son is חייב מדרבנן. How come that over there the son can be מוציא? The father, how come Megillah is different? דאב שיעור דרבנן. ועד קטן שחיובו דרבנן, ומפיק האב שלא אכל על השיעור דרבנן. והמאי לא אמרינן כן במגילה. Why don't we say exactly the same? If you think the קושייה עצומה, it's not
seems logical.
because we'll see the two major answers on this question are being applied in many other places. וכן, בפרק לולב הגזול, דאמר, אין קטן מוציא בקריאת הלב. In the time of the Gemara, the Chazan used to say it, and other people used to listen, being יוצא הלב. So the Mishnah says over there, אין קטן מוציא בקריאת הלב. You cannot read it and be מוציא adults, ועונים אחריו מה שהם אומרים. Again, תוספות repeat the same question. מה ישנה from ברכת המזון? Listen to this.
שהלל why is not
No, the custom was the Chazan says certain part of Hallel, and he's motzi the people. Let's say Baruch haba, and people say B'Shem Hashem.
Okay.
Let's say the Chazan says Adula Hashem, Kitov,
They didn't know
and
for
there's a
heart.
Kilo Olam Chazdo. So the question is, why can't a minor, when he's 11 or 12, he has a good voice, why can't he be motzi the adults saying Hallel is midrabanan?
so what's the reason like
We're doing. We're trying to find out. We see analogies, but they're not consistent.
This is what the support are trying to understand.
Why is it good for Megillah, not for?
ויש לומר, לעולם מאירי וקטן שהגיע לחינוך. Our Mishnah is talking about a kid 9, 10, 11, 12, ואפילו אחי, פסלו רבנן, so why can the child read for his father? Listen to this. It's a new concept. משום, the Megillah לקח חיובה אפילו בגדולים, even by me and you, זה החייב only מדרבנן. וקטן, אין מחויב אלא מדרבנן אפילו בשאר מצוות. You this? By קטן, תפילין, מצה, everything that he does is חייב מדרבנן. So Megillah is a double דרבנן, you realize? This is the point of Tosfot now. Double דרבנן cannot motzi one דרבנן. Normally,
It's like watered down a little, saying it's
the
like
question before was based,
less.
it's the same level. The answer is it's not the
No,
same level
it's one
because
level
on
below.
Katan, look further. So
What's the double again? What's the double? Say over what the double is.
I'm reading it again. It's okay. The Katan, look at the language
It's
again.
a downgrade.
The Katan אין מחויב אלא מדרבנן אפילו בשאר מצוות. ובגדול לקה אלא אחד דרבנן. So by minor at 11, 12, every mitzvah that is chayav mid'Rabbanan, and the Megillah is the Rabbanan atop the Rabbanan. Yes, it's a trader. It's called trader. Thank you.
Listen.
Thank you. It's called trader Rabbanan. Look. ובגדול לקהל אחד דרבנן במגילה, שהרי בשאר מצוות הוא חייב דאורייתא. Here is the famous phrase, ולא עתה תרי דרבנן, a minor was a double דרבנן עולים, and דרבנן in every מצווה, by shofar, and etc. ומפיק חד דרבנן. Please listen now a חידוש of תוספות. Listen good. Each one of you should ask now, so how come the Gemara says the kids can say Birkat HaMazon for his father?
That was the question.
He will say, very good. אבל ההיא בברכת המזון, יודעת? מאירי שהקטן אכל כדי סבייה. The kid ate
2 ounces.
and is full. His obligation, normally the quantity is all right. Veleka, elachad de Rabbanan. Listen good now. Umapik, and his moti his father, shelo achal ela shiura de Rabbanan. Here, Tosafot HaMechadesh. This Gemara, the minor, can say Birkat Hamazon for his father. It's only if the minor ate the full amount.
And
This full amount normally is Minat Torah. Bohim is the Rabbanan. So this is one the Rabbanan. His father ate a small amount.
if the father ate a full amount, then the son could not be
Correct.
him,
Correct.
because the father
Correct.
it's a step up, so to speak.
Correct. If the father ate and is full, the Katan cannot say bracha for him. So they again,
Shades of gray.
so this is the famous Chidush of Tosafot. There is a double the
It's a little
Rabbanan.
rough.
Yeah. It's the
Then
Greek.
let's continue. So
Going
again,
bowling, but we're not going bowling.
about Laid,
Right, Jan? Going bowling, but we're not going.
right? So David says that by a woman it's the same, but by a woman it's for a different reason. Because by a woman, they're not sure if she's chayav in Torah b'Birkat Hamazon or not. So because of Safed, David is right. If the husband ate a small amount, the wife
She
could
could
be
be
able to see her husband. If he ate the full amount,
couldn't do
because of Safed, here by a minor, it's Vadai. He is chayav only one Rabbanan. Now Tosafot continue. ומכל מקום קשיא. Listen carefully how Tosafot over. בכל מקום קשיא. וכאמרינן, the Gemara says in Psachim, Rav Sheshat and Rav Yosef were blind, and according to one opinion, are mechuyav b'mitzvot or not. Let's see. Amre agadeta b'leil Pesachim. In the homes of these two rabbis, they used to read the Agadah and be motzi the adults and the women.
While they were blind or before they got blind?
They were saying it by heart, I guess.
While they are blind.
Oh.
You know, obviously they are blind.
No, you said right. Right,
So it means wow, it means they're reading.
Oh, what?
They're not seeing it.
They may not be hayav.
Mishum de Savre, please listen carefully. The Gemara has a problem here, because there is one opinion that says that the blind man is patur from Mishum de Savre. You hear Matzah b'zman hazeh de Rabbanan, which means what? If the family is chayav min Torah, maybe they are not obligated. But these two, this is not the halacha, but these two held that Matzah is the Rabbanan. So listen again now. Yes? משום דסברי מצא בזמן הזה לרבנן. ולפי מה שפירשנו קשה, איך יעתו אינהו דאבו תרי דרבנן, והסומה פטור מלומר אגדה. A blind man is exempt from saying אגדה. He's only חייב מדרבנן. Listen good now. So this
Why is he exempt?
the minor, yes?
Why is he exempt? Is that because of Sumas Patur me mitzvot? That's what they're saying?
So the Gemara has a gzera shava. It says, "Benenu ze sorer umore," and it says by Haggadah, "Ba'avur ze asa Hashem." The same way that a kid cannot be punished if he is blind. So the gzera shava says, "You are not chayav." Ba'avur ze means when I tell the story, ba'avur ze, I'm pointing out to the matzah.
Rabbi, is he patur or anus? Isn't there a difference?
The Gemara says it's patur.
Patur is kol mitzvot, not just
No,
the matzah.
Ela is right. Rabbi Yehuda says that the Suma is patur mikol hamitzvot. The Gemara over there goes with the opinion they are chayav in tefillin, they are chayav in shofar, they are chayav in other mitzvot, but in mitzvah tzipur yetziat Mitzrayim they are exempt because of the gezerah shava. Yes.
So, Rabbi, could it be an analogy with somebody who's deaf? He could read it, but he can't hear it. He can read it himself.
Someone is there if he's exempt from the mitzvah, or knows the way you said it. Here, again, they are chayav mid'Rabbanan, and if you think these two rabbis only in Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim are the same as the minor by Megillah, they have doubled the Rabbanan. A, Matzah is the Rabbanan, the Sipur is the Rabbanan. B, they are blind. So the Safot are asking, Meleka Be'u El Achad Rabbanan. So when they are saying the Haggadah for the family members, for the wives, they are one the Rabbanan. Two blind rabbis, Chayav double the Rabbanan. It's exactly the same as the child. If a child cannot read the Megillah according to Rabbanan here because it's double the Rabbanan, so listen to Safot. Veyesh lomar, the Soma עדיף מקטן. Why? שהרי נתחייב כבר מדאורייתא. מה שאין כן בקטן. Which means, Safot are saying in all the other mitzvot, חייב מן התורה, the גברא בר חיובה. This man is a man who is חייב בשופר, חייב בפרשת זכור, חייב במזוזה, חייב in everything. In this particular mitzvah of Sipur Yad Mitzrayim, we have a, so the Safot are saying, if the man is a bar chiyuva b'chol mitzvot, this concept of Trei Rabbanan cannot be.
He started at the high level and he's
not only
downgraded.
started,
The kid never got there.
and he's there. Right?
The kid never got there.
The kid never got there. This is very famous.
He never made the cut. The kid never.
So, but
the
even
person who made the
Amalchoket,
cut.
they're not all Rabbanans are the same in terms of.
But this
Right, but it's also that chinuch is not the same as a Rabbanan like with Hatmazon or a woman or something, because a chinuch is on the father maybe, or there are other different reasons where they're not all
The
equal.
Safot are openly with their opinion.
Yeah, I guess
The
so.
child is obligated. That his father is obligated.
So he's
to
that
him.
opinion. He's taking
He
that
is-
opinion.
The-
Okay.
The Safot are of the opinion that Qatar is definitely obligated. So why can't he be motzi the adults? The answer is Trei Rabbanan. The same exactly is Shabbat morning. You mentioned before Joseph Kiddush. Shabbat morning's Kiddush is called Alma de Rabbanan.
Right, so take our time.
Why can't a child make Kiddush for his mother or his father?
Shabbat.
The adult is Chayav Mid Rabbanan, the father is Chayav Kiddush Mid Rabbanan, and the kid is Chayav. The answer is the same exactly, the same answer exactly. He is Trei Rabbanan.
He's downgraded.
Which are the two? Which are the two trays? What are the two trays again?
Every kid in general is Chayav in all the mitzvot Rabbanan. So this is A. B. The mitzvah of making Kiddush Shabbat morning is also on Rabbanan and me and you. So it is exactly the same as Megillah. Now please
It's
tell me.
like a dilution, so to speak.
So
So
a
a
kid
kid
can
can never
Not so
go
strong.
see his father.
Correct.
So a kid can never go
But
see
you
his
see,
father.
the kid can never accept Birkat Hamazon,
Hamazon,
as
we
we
have
said
a
before,
Doraita,
only
the Rabbanan.
because the
Because-
quantity that he
because the
ate
father needed
is the
enough.
Rabbanan. So he remains
So-
one Rabbanan is
So could a child be motzi his father for maror?
maror you have to eat.
It's the
But
Rabbanan
in the
model
in the
now.
It's
bracha,
the rabbanan.
it's
The
exactly
shiur
the
is-
same
the
as
shiur is the
Kiddush
same.
Shabbat morning, the same as Megillah.
There's no difference.
He
in
has a
shiur.
double the Rabbanan and his father has one the Rabbanan. It's
We
exactly
can't.
And
Say,
the
that's
the same. The thing about
quantity
it.
is the same, not like
Now
the bread.
tell him the Ran. We have good
Rabbi,
Gemarot.
it's-
Enough
it's
is-
Tosafot and Nefesh Halakha?
What?
Is the Tosafot, is that the basis for Halakha?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look now, in your Gemara, look, we have the same edition. Look in the back, it says page 12. By you, Larry,
I have it. I have it.
look in the Ran, Rabbeinu Nissim.
I have it.
It begins with the Mishnah, Kol Ksherim Likot Et HaMegillah. We are skipping halfway, just going to the bottom of the Ran brings the Ramban, he writes it, open exactly the place. You see in the middle, first he brings the Tosfot. And he brings Tosfot. And look a second at my finger, Beharamban. Look at my finger, Beharamban. You have to look into the Ran. The Ran is a long Ran. He brings our case, then he says,
Yes.
you see Ikshuba Tosfot, Larry? 4 or 5 lines later. This is a very famous Ramban. No, you're good, but you went too far. You should say on top, page 12. Look at the top right.
Says
No,
Rabbeinu
no,
Nissim at the
no,
top.
you have to
Rabbeinu
go
Nissim
to
at the top.
12, yeah, it's 12. It looks like a Gemara.
Says Rabbeinu
This
Nissim.
is the maybe your edition doesn't have it.
I don't think so.
The blue ones don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the read. Right? You don't have it. So look with him. The Ramban Zal Tiretz. Again, the question was raised by Tosfot and the Ran. Why can't a child who's Chayav Midrabanan be motzi his father b'Megillah? It's the Rabbanan. Tosfot came up with the answer to the Rabbanan. The Ramban Zal Tiretz. The Rabbanan Svira Lahu, listen good now, שאינו בדין שהקטן, אף על פי שהגיע לחינוך, יוציא הגדולים ידי חובתן במגילה. Please listen. You mentioned it before. Eli, you mentioned משום דלאו מצווה לידינו, אלא דאבוה. Hear this? It's not his own mitzvah. His father is obligated to tell him, you pray, you eat matzah, you do this and this. But it's not, in our language, it's not a chiyuv on the governor, yes?
So is he like a servant? The boy's like a servant, like the father's telling him
boy,
he's doing it on his behalf?
To use the right word for us, is a puppet. He's a pawn on a chessboard.
He's like an extension of the father's hand. So
He's a pawn on a chessboard. Yes. Look, Ella, the love mitzvah deyu, Ella de avua, deyu, Ella de avua, deyu himself, no mechayev b'mitzvot, kol ikar. Now listen what he says now. If so, the Ramban has a problem. So how come Rabbi Yehuda allows us to do it?
yeah.
Says the Ramban, the Rabbi Atzmo, lo yitir bekatan.
What's that? Oh,
Ela, Rabbi Yehuda would not allow it in any other mitzvah. Ela b'Megillah, mipnei shekulam hayu be'oto hanes.
oh, because
Okay.
the whole
Which means the same reason why ladies are obligated to Megillah, even though it's a mitzvah
part of
she'asman
them, part
gerama,
of them, yes.
is because
of
they להשמיד, להרוג ולאבד is part of the nes, and this is the exception. According to him, it's the exception of the rule.
Right, but they were all part of Yetziat Mitzrayim also.
Right, so Tosafot are asking your question. In a minute, I'll show you. But Tosafot are extending the question. Why do I need to say that the woman is chaya b'matzah because of a cash? Why don't you say this is only by mitzvot derabanan, not by mitzvot doraita? Yetziat Mitzrayim is mitzvah min Torah to remember Yetziat Mitzrayim, to eat matzah.
Remember, once you said puppet, I was thinking, well, if it's just a
Well, the
puppet,
puppet is not a
no,
good
no,
word.
yeah, man, but
The
it's just
pawn
an
is
extension,
better.
or whatever it is. But I'm saying, then let me have a goy do it. But the goy has no shred of obligation
No
whatsoever
strings.
based on what we
This
said.
is the point.
Yeah,
No
I was
strings.
trying to see if I
But
could
you see,
challenge
this
it.
is the difference.
Yeah.
The difference is a
It's
puppet.
not just an extension.
Puppet remains a puppet forever.
Yeah,
The pawn is being moved by the dog.
yeah.
You realize the
Got it,
difference?
Yeah, no string.
Look further. Now the Ramban has a very big question on himself. How can the Gemara tell me that a minor can say Birkat Hamazon for his father? Says the Ramban,
So the quantity differences, of course, still.
if again, according to Tosfot, he ate a large quantity and his father,
Boy, and
but
it's
according
father's
to
less.
him, that the
Even
Katan
then-
doesn't have his own obligation at
At
all.
all.
He doesn't have
Even
his
if he
own
has to ask.
obligation.
Even if he has to.
Says the Ramban Chidush Gadol. Okay, but this is not the time we have to learn Barachot for that. He says, "V'hada amrinan." What is it? ומה שאמרו בין מברך לאביו ובין גדול עירה. It's a big chidush. Why is it chidush? Because if we have time, tomorrow the Gemara says, אבל אמרו בין מברך לאביו. עבד מברך לרבו. He says it's an adult. So what's the big deal? Of course you can do it. ועד האמרינן תבוא עליו מהירה. Why is the Gemara cursing the father who relies on his son? היינו משום שאינו יודע לברך. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you really want, we have to go to the Sugya. This exact same answer that the Ramban is giving. Go back now to Tosafot in Daf Chaf.
Why was it negated? Because the father should have known.
The Ramban is saying, yeah, the Ramban.
The father should have
The
known.
Gemara
Therefore, you're not getting
says,
the benefit.
shame on you, father.
Go learn.
What shame on you? My son is 15. And so he
Slap
knows
on the
that
wrist. You're
he
right.
knows that you don't know. I mean, look now at Tosafot in Daf Chavdalet. Go back, Daf Chavdalet.
Where? Chavdalad, where?
In Megillah.
Okay.
Original, all right. I mean, Aleph, okay.
The Gemara talks over there, the Mishnah talks over there, and Pores al Shma. Pores al Shma means the rabbis did a favor to people who somehow miss the minyan and tell people come to shul, but they all prayed already, but they missed the Hashemer Rabbah, Baruch Hu, etc. They allow them to say one beracha and Baruch Hu. The Gemara says a child cannot do it. Look at Tosfot. Tosfot דיבור המתחיל, דף כ"ד. יביא את כ"ד עמוד א', תוספות דיבור המתחיל, אבל אינו פורס על שמה. יביא אבל אינו פורס על שמה. ואפילו לרבי יהודה, למכשיר לי במגילה להר, even Rabbi Yehuda, who allows a minor to read the Megillah for his father, Hacha, here, to be a Chazan for his father, מודה שלא יוצא אחרים ידי חובתם בדבר של קדושה. Why not? משום דבקטן איכא בית דרבנן, כי דפרישית להם, a child always has a double דרבנן, yes? אבל במגילה, here, תוספות now are answering, why according to Rabbi Yehuda, a minor at 11 can be with his father, אבל במגילה יש להקל, לפי שטף ונשים, the children and the ladies היו בספק להרוג ולהשמיד, יודיס, ולפיכך עשאו רבי יהודה כגדול. So now the Ran is adding a sentence on the Ramban. The Ramban only told us he wasn't the same degree. The Tosafot are saying only by Megillah, because he was part of the decree. So according to Tosafot,
Could a wife be motzi for her husband?
this is going to be another class. We started today. The Mishnah. The Mishnah said Hakol כשרים לקרוא את המגילה, אפילו נשים. פשטות המשנה seems to say yes. A woman can be motzi her husband, and Maran says yes. Then Maran says yes, she can
Other
write.
considerations.
We'll see. The question is what?
Goes back to the question of Hinuch, like when we are raising our kids, I always thought that leave them alone, they are not part of the mitzvah. I didn't tell them to do anything. So you say that they are all obligated for all the Rabbanim.
The Gemara is saying in general there is a mitzvah chinuch on every mitzvah except those like Kriyat Shema.
But we don't let them do anything. Like they don't do anything. Like we said, they're obligated.
Depends whose house. Depends whose house.
So I always thought that they don't have an obligation. Okay, you can.
The rabbi had children at the age of 88. You can still have children and raise the kids.
I read that it was
Chinuch, Rabbi, Chinuch, no?
read there was he made 2 or 3 attempts. The first didn't work, and second and 2 or 3 times till they were successful.
I mean, the rabbi knows all the rabbis here, multiply them by 1,000, not by 100. Every man that came to him in the last 60 years, he says, can you give me a bracha to have children?
Wow.
He was a giant man, a giant by size, giant by man, but it's a blessing. So the cynical people in the shul says, imagine at the bar mitzvah how old the father is.
So, Rabbi, a son, Katan was his mother for Kiddush during the day. He has a double, and she has a single.
He cannot.
Cannot. I thought we say he could, but in general, I guess. Okay, I take it back.
Only according to Rabbi Yehuda.
Only according to Rabbi Yehuda,
only by Megillah you realize what the support.
that he's allowing it.
Okay.
But this whole thing of a double D'Rabbanan is across all the rabbis.
Right?
So therefore, according to all the rabbis, that Katan cannot take.
For us.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
There is no punishment for the katan, so how can you say that they are obligated to do Rabbanan if there is no? I mean, it's a contradiction.
Joseph, it's a Gemara. There's a mitzvah chinuch. The father is obligated. There are numerous Gemarot. Is the father obligated?
And 12-year-old is still a katan. Not bar mitzvah, he's like katan, no matter what. Even if he's mature and all that.
It's one day before his bar mitzvah. It's still a katan. No, Joseph, this is the Joel disagrees with that. There's a mitzvah on the father to
But for
raise.
the father, I understand. But you're talking about the kid. Is still obligated. We don't.
Just so
Cannot be punished.
Just so it's a machloket between Tosfot and the Ramban. according to Tosfot, the kid has his own obligations. If you come to communities, hundreds of thousands of kids do it every day. They are minors, and they do the mitzvot because this is the mitzvah. The mitzvah is to dress them.
So is it double mitzvah?
It was an hour off.
So is there a double mitzvah? The father is getting a mitzvah and the son is getting sort of a mitzvah?
Correct.
When he puts on
If
tefillin
the
at
father
12 years old?
fulfilled, right. Joseph, there are certain mitzvot like tefillin. Why? So why don't you buy a kid at 11 tefillin? Because you can buy
Okay, leave it.
Doesn't sound good.
I'm fine.
For your head.
So, Georgia, what's the lesson for what happened now? Georgia?
Do it after class.
Do it after class. Even now, I say,
Million times when I'm in the middle of, let's say I'm learning, and something comes up, and I know in my mind I can do it in half an hour, but somehow I'm doing it. I'm always not succeeding. I mean, almost maybe 90%. I can do it later. Why should I do it now? Anyway, we learned the new lesson. You think it's only $20. It's cheap. Clock. No, it's a cheap clock. You buy it for $20.
Sorry, Mal.
I used to tell the
I think
kids
Mal
when you
bought
go to the store, if you go to a store where they sell nice china, you break it, you bought it.
Yeah.
Now listen, remember, we saw the Ramban, very famous. What is the opinion of Rambam? There's no time to go into it, but I'll read you a very famous Rashi.
So
I'm
Rabbi,
reading
going
my-
back again, I have to tell all the kids that I have that this is your obligation. In a way, if you don't do this,
This is what
Sin-
Jewish education is about. Jewish
Well,
education is only about the question of what doesn't exist. It's
What
to
is
raise the
halakha?
kids from us.
halacha is that
Even
the kids should
praying.
know that he's
I'm
making
talking like
sin.
1800 years. That this is what Jewish education is. The parents are obligated to tell a kid, do this, eat the matzah, don't do this on Shabbat, don't do this. And sometimes the parents have to be blind, but in general, this is it. I mean, there's
When the kid was
pages,
little, they used to
pages,
wake up.
Joseph, there
12
are pages
o'clock.
in the Gemara.
Okay, right.
But there's a
Okay.
lesson from
But
the
I was
Shema
saying,
as
don't
to
wait
how,
till-
what to do. You can learn a lesson from that, that it's not important to alienate him from the religion.
Not to push the kid.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna go so far
Every
to
child
alienate.
aspires to be like his father. He wants to do what his father does. Most kids. Take her to
So
shul,
look, I'm
we buy him a
reading
little
the-
all the things that get him
For
in the
whatever
mood.
reason,
Joseph,
these
help-
raising the kids in a
Help
positive,
you make the
in a
sukkah.
positive atmosphere. It's
Come on,
mind-boggling.
you wanna go to shul?
I mean,
Let's come.
basically, I see the, Joseph, I see the kids that you spoke about in high school.
When my kids
Who
were
are the
younger,
kids
I
that
started-
pray good, the one the father made sure that he prays good, and those who are,
I started telling them, okay, you gotta go to shul at least once of the Shabbat, just once.
Friday
Then
nights
up again, you gotta go
usually-
twice.
Yeah.
Then Tanya, look, we gotta go 3 times, this is it, so little by little, we got them there.
Friday night is usually to start the kids on.
Yeah.
Sure.
Friday night, yeah, the kids are there, yeah, right before dinner.
listen carefully. I'm reading now, maybe we should do tomorrow, but let's start a minute. The Gemara says in Brachot 48a on the bottom. Here it is. The Gemara says, you are chayav, אבל להוציא את הרבים ידי חובתם from an adult to be מוציא other people, עד שיאכל כזית דגן. Until he ate at least a כזית, okay? Says Rashi, Brachot 48, ומחי אכל כזית דגן, מי המפיק? Now Rashi is raising a question, this is good. I ate a slice of bread, David ate 2 slices. A sandwich. How can I be Motzi David?
You can't.
Oh. Not the same level.
How can I be Motzi
You
David? I'm Chayav Midarabanan, and the Gemara says not so. Rashi is raising the question.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I'm not full.
Because your sviyah could be different from his sviyah.
Okay. Let's assume
No,
that
that's not-
Hayab
Hayab
did
it
we ate
right
a cowboy steak and 2 slices of
No,
bread
you
and
could
French
become-
fries in between, yes?
Rabbi, you could become, that's why you could.
Okay, this is one answer, but listen, so this is very famous. One of the answers, the famous answers that we have to remember is arvut.
Yeah, I didn't
If I can make kiddush for you, even though I ate already, why can't I say Birkat Hamazon for
But you
you?
haven't met the minimum standard.
It says the Yerushalmi, it says ve'achalta v'sava'ata, so I have a minimum at least. So So the famous answer that Tosafot are giving and the Rosh is Arvut. I can say Birkat Hamazon if I ate one kazait. Why do I need a kazait? Because it says in Pasuk, it sounds funny. But the Rashi doesn't give the answer. It says Rashi, how come a child, אף אגב דכזית שיעורא דרבנן, כיוון דמחויב מדרבנן, מחויב בדבר קרינן בי. Rashi gives a different answer. As long as you are chayav, your bracha counts as a bracha.
No matter what. No.
Rashi is not saying because of Arvut.
Once you're in the game, you're in the game.
So now
Doesn't
Rashi
matter.
is asking here, Joseph. Now
But what
Rashi-
about the two? What about trade the Rabbanan there?
Wait. Rashi questions himself. How come a child cannot be מוציא of others? ואם תאמר בקטן שהגיע לחינוך, הלא אמר. If I am right that my bracha is a bracha, and I can be mutzi an adult, even though I ate a kazayit.
But the child is watered down, he said.
And says Rashi, okay, watered down is we give the answer. Says Rashi, very famous. Says Rashi, הוא אפילו מדרבנן לא מחייב. יעדי דאבוה ודרע מן החינוך. Says Rashi like the Ramban. So this is very famous. Rashi in Berachot 48 and the Ramban in Megillah that we just saw, both say a child doesn't have his own obligation, it's his father's obligation to make sure that he is. Now Rashi is not a simple.
So the father's like deputizing him, he gives him the ability to,
And that is-
to
is
be
a-
the representative or
Right,
the.
but the maaseh that he doesn't count as a mitzvah. You hear? Tosafot clearly said that the maaseh that he does is a mitzvah. This is Joseph's point. This is the machloket Tosafot and Ramban.
Katan could be a chazan with tefillah mincha. Is that my
No,
correct or
no,
not?
no.
Okay, so we have a durabanan here with tefillah.
Again, because of double
Because
the
of double
Rabbanan.
durabanan.
Exactly.
Not because there's no arvut, maybe with katan.
Because of double the Rabbanan.
Is there arvut with the katan, or
What?
maybe there's not no arvut?
There's no wood b'chla.
So the katan, according to this, then the Rabbanan this, that the katan can never do anything.
Yeah.
He is obligated to do everything for himself, and
Yeah, but not for anybody else.
father, if his father ate
Different amount.
kazai. This is according to most Rishonim, except the Ramban that we just saw, and the Ramban says no. The Gemara talks about Gadol.
So that's,
We'll
so
continue
that's
tomorrow.
why if I go to one of the other
come
schools,
like-
someplace else,
come like
a woman could be a chazan from mincha.
So I'm sorry.
If I was
I broke it.
going to be in a different
You
place,
didn't break it. I broke it.
Tomorrow we'll see.
if she has one that
The question is, does he have the chiyuv to play mincha or not? That's it.
Have a good day, Rabbi.
Bye.